Restored Republic via a GCR. Update as of Wednesday 4 May 2022. Compiled Wednesday 4 May 2022 by Judy Byington. This is it. The hour is upon us. I'm bringing in the storm of the century, history in the making. They won't be able to censor, nor silence us, and they certainly won't win. Q17X. Patriots' indomitable spirit to build free republics across the globe. Once again, as patriot pioneers, we will capture and burn to ashes those who worship Satan in an evil quest for money and power, and then create nations that ring the bell of freedom to herald in a new beginning for we the people across the globe. Judy note. To my knowledge, no intel has changed on timing of the global currency reset, which officially rolled out on Sun. 1 May. We expected Tier 4B, us, the Internet Group, to be notified to set redemption exchange appointments by WED. 4 May, Thursday 5 May or Friday 6 May, with appointments beginning that, or the next day, according to Bruce. Today, Tuesday 3 May, some bondholders received codes for their accounts, but their accounts weren't activated and likely wouldn't be until Tier 4B received their appointments, according to Bruce. Tier 1 and Tier 2 have already been paid out, according to Bruce. Tier 2, the whales who have already received 15% of their monies, have already paid off our national debt, plus we're paying for Nasara out of the remaining 85%. Tuesday. Evening 3 May. Mark Z. We have had two very solid confirmations from Tier 3 that they received small bank wires, compared to what they are owed. They were test wires, and that tells us, emo, that real money has started moving in Tier 3. This is exciting. I think this is fantastic news. On Saturday 30 April, Fleming wrote, Venezuela and Iraq have both fulfilled the ISO 20022 requirements and agree to participate in world trade with ISO 20022 compatible digital currency. A state-backed, asset-backed CBDC. This is the completion of the list of first basket countries we've been waiting for. According to military contacts, this is all we've been waiting for. 23 out of 210 nations have changed their currencies to be gold asset-backed. The rest would soon follow in order for their country to be accepted for international trade. Mark Z. There are 5 tiers of folks exchanging. Tier 1 governments and royalty. Tier 2 whales elite with platforms of currency, corporations, etc. Tier 3 admirals group, American Indians, CMKX, large church groups, like the Mormons, etc. Tier 4 all the hundreds of thousands paying attention to intel. Internet groups, all of us. Tier 5 those who never paid ATTN, the general public. Judy note. Mark Z referred to large church groups, like the Mormons, being part of Tier 3. It is my understanding that the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, more commonly known as the Mormons, was included in Tier 3 because they have a very large investment in the GCR, the proceeds of which they have designated to go to their most comprehensive humanitarian program set up in the world, with multiple humanitarian programs already active and staffed in most nations. The Church also has had for many years very comprehensive food production, storage and welfare programs throughout the globe that were already set up to help those in need. Tuesday 3 May 2022 The Big Call, Bruce. Tier 4B was still going this week WED, Thursday or Fri for notification, with appointments beginning the next day. There would be a change in the U.S. presidential administration around Friday 13 May. Nasara would kick in sometime from today through the 18th of May. A universal income will be available for senior citizen retirees. Today, Tuesday 3 May, some bondholders received codes for their accounts, but their accounts weren't activated and likely wouldn't be until Tier 4B received their appointments. Tier 1 and 2 have already been paid out. Tier 2, the whales who received 15% of their monies, paid off our national debt and paid for Nasara out of the remaining 85%. On Saturday 30 April, a redemption call discussed the rolling out of the medbeds. For all ZIM bond redeemers, a $100 trillion ZIM note was equal to $100 trillion US dollars. Those redemption monies would be put in a quantum account. For ZIM bondholders who do not have a project, 1% of those monies in their quantum account would be put in a primary account, from which you would have immediate access. For those ZIM holders who don't have projects, their monies in the primary account would be put in a long-term payout that would earn interest, the interest of which would be dependent upon the length of the long-term payout. For those ZIM holders who don't have projects, that interest received in their primary account would be put in a secondary account, from which you would have immediate access. For ZIM bondholders who have projects, 10% of those monies in their quantum account would be put into a primary account, from which you would have immediate access. For ZIM bondholders who have projects, interest on those monies in their primary account would be 6.5% to 8%, perhaps 10% dependent on your negotiation about your project. For ZIM bondholders who have projects, those interest monies earned in your primary account would be put in a secondary account, from which you would have immediate access. B. Apparent schedule. Last week, poultry and turkey farms in Iowa and 28 other states from Maine to Utah were destroyed, therefore contributing to the food shortages. Sunday, 1 May, global currency reset rolled out. Mon. 2 May, D-Class. Roe vs. Wade overturned, leaked out. Disney secrets exposed. Underground tunnels, cages, CIA drug, human smuggling and connections to occult pedo Epstein Island. Not reported in MSM, though alternative media released that banks reported that a recession was coming. The U.S. largest bank, the Bank of America, was in a collapse, as was Europe's largest bank, Deutsche Bank, while thousands of banks across the globe were being closed or bought out. Tens of thousands of small banks close across the world. Wednesday, 4 May to June 3 is 30 days. June 3 was Lizard's Platinum Jubilee, the People's Jubilee instead may be done in 30. This would also align with Protocol 19 at beginning of June, perhaps after the 3-day blackout for Flip. The 3rd to the 6th of June. Whiplash 347. Wednesday, 4 May, Canada scheduled emergency broadcast system test. Thursday, 5 May, GCR funds available to all tiers. Wednesday, 11 May, 5.11, 2-year delta coming up Q4211. We are ready to unleash hell. Memes ready? Sometime from Wednesday, 4 May to Wednesday, 18 May, Nasara would kick in. See. Restored Republic. Welcome to the main event, Patriots. It's showtime, a show so big that will leave everyone speechless. They are not ready for it. Every lie will be revealed. Prepare backups. Archive everything. They will try to shut us down, but they won't stop us. We will prevail. God bless you all. Q17X. CERN emergency alert. CERN activated May 2, 2022. Stephen Hawkins, nuclear physicist. The God particle found by CERN could destroy the universe. Smoking gun evidence surfaces linking Joe to Hunter shady foreign business deals. Will his DOJ indict? For years, rational, thinking Americans have suspected Joe is as corrupt as his son, Hunter, and brother, James. Food shortages. U.S. Rembrandt Foods killed 5.3 million chickens as a result of bird flu last week. The cull was repeated at poultry and turkey farms in Iowa and 28 other states from Maine to Utah. Global economy crash. Shanghai cargo congestion could bring down the world economy. Tens of thousands of small banks close across the world. The big banks that would not sign onto the new quantum system are collapsing or being bought out. Supreme Court to overturn Roe v. Wade, which was based on a lie. Removing Roe v. Wade, Planned Parenthood v. Casey makes it a states' rights issue, which means states can ban abortion, but also states that keep abortion legal theoretically will be able to permit late-term abortions that federal oversight previously deemed illegal. Pentagon and American firms found involved in Ukrainian military biolabs. Russia's top investigator told RT that Moscow identified Pentagon officials involved in funding of Ukraine's alleged bio-weapon labs that developed to be released on the general public. Tuesday, 3 May, Charlie Ward. Drip. 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 The masses are slowly being shown the truth. If you told them the full truth, they would not believe it. Tuesday, 3 May, JFK Jr. May will be a month of upheaval. May will be a month when all the dirty things of this government will be exposed. The current is disgusting to people not only in the United States but all over the world. In a few days we will send something that will destroy and expose these Kabbalias. International child sex trafficking. Disney secrets. Underground tunnels, cages, CIA drug, human smuggling, occult pedo, Epstein Island. Facilities for the torture of children can be found all over the world, including in underground tunnels under Disneyland in Florida. Disneyland also regularly sent tourist boats full of children to Epstein Island in the Caribbean, many of whom never returned. How family visiting Disney discovered someone was tracking their every move. Destiny Rescue, to save children from child trafficking. Hollywood actress Angelina Jolie flew to Ukraine, to Lviv. The first video with her was made in a coffee shop. A child with headphones, who did not pay any attention to her, has already become a meme. She left an autograph on the menu and went to drink coffee. Later, Jolie visited the City Hall and Lviv railway station. A video about how Angelina Jolie admits to participating in the satanic rituals of the Illuminati can be viewed here. Global food, fuel and goods shortages. U.S. Rembrandt Foods killed 5.3 million chickens as a result of last week, and then almost all of its employees were laid off. "They cooked these birds alive," said one of the Rembrandt employees involved in the cull. The cull was repeated at poultry and turkey farms in Iowa and 28 other states from Maine to Utah. On Friday, Indonesia announced that it would ban the export of palm oil. This is part of the global plan of the clique to starve humanity to death. President Jokowi instructed him to do this to his own country, a CIA source in Asia said. The Shanghai cargo congestion could bring down the world economy. Global financial collapse. Deutsche Bank, EU's biggest bank. "We will get a major recession," Deutsche Bank economists wrote in a report to clients on Tuesday. Not reported in MSM. UK's biggest banks. "I can't see it getting any better. Could the UK be heading for a recession?" Not reported in MSM. Bank of America, U.S. biggest bank, was in a collapse and bought out by smaller bank. Bank of America warns recession shock is coming. Not reported in MSM. Tens of thousands of small banks close across the world. The big banks that would not sign onto the new quantum system are collapsing or being bought out. Wells Fargo Bank has come into full control of the white hats for the RV. Weakest currencies in the world, Victor Mochier. Russia is returning to the gold standard and China is going to be next. Russia-Ukraine war between the deep state and white hats. Pentagon, U.S. companies involved in Ukraine military biolabs, Russia's top investigator. Joe sent $13.6 billion aid package to Ukraine, then $1.3 billion in April, $350 million in February, $800 million in March and another request for $33 billion. Hundreds upon hundreds of millions connected into billions, connected to 80 years of trillions. The deep state was funneling money into Ukraine through the CIA, BlackRock money laundering system. You can understand why HMS are fighting for their lives. Our sources in the CIA say that the Satanists from the Azov battalion, who took refuge at the steel plant in Mariupol, are fighting to the death because they know that they will be killed as soon as the collection facilities are found there. The Ministry of Foreign Affairs of China, reflecting the point of view of most of the world, publicly calls the United States a rogue state acting in violation of international law. Many European countries agree and are distancing themselves from the US-occupied HMM. That's why, as the latest sign that Russia is winning in its campaign to remove Satanists from Ukraine, Poland, Italy, France, Germany, Bulgaria, etc. were forced to abandon their threat to cut off Russian gas money and started paying in rubles. Foreign mercenaries whom the West has been actively sending to the Donbass for several years include a mercenary from the UK who addressed his colleagues with an appeal to immediately leave Ukraine. Having succumbed, like many other soldiers of fortune, to the appeals of numerous Western recruiters, Hill found himself in a remarkable company of criminals, rapists, sadists and looters who came to Ukraine. He was faced here not only with a much larger scale of military operations, but also with a lack of weapons, interruptions in ammunition, medicines and even food. By the way, the mercenaries solved the problem of food shortage by robbing local residents, taking an example from their Ukrainian colleagues. But Hill was even more shocked by the Ukrainian security forces. It turned out that there are many neo-Nazis, psychopaths, alcoholics and other marginals among the defenders who are unable and unwilling to fight for Ukraine. They fight mainly with their own civilians, robbing, raping and killing. Brits are defending Nazi, Zionists. We paid attention to the anti-historical statements of the Israeli Foreign Minister Yair Lapid, which largely explain the course of the current Israeli government to support the neo-Nazi regime in Kyiv. The rest of the real news for Tuesday 3 May 2022. CERN emergency alert. CERN activated May 2, 2022. Stephen Hawking, nuclear physicist. The God particle found by CERN could destroy the universe. In 1934, the LA Times reported on a lost lizard city found beneath La California. It is said the city was destroyed and no longer there, but was that a lie? Military reports of an underground network of tunnels and bunkers exist under the city with connections to other bunkers. The clues to finding the tunnels and entrances are in plain sight if you know where to look. Elon Musk has just introduced a smart, portable, off-grid, yet a robust Tesla home for affordable living, $10,000. Jetson 1 flying machine. VOC documentary, Episode 1 Moon the Map of the Earth. May 2, 2022 Public and international notice of fraud in progress. Bank of England, J.P. Morgan Chase & Co. Gentlemen, ladies. Please find attached a copy of our federal court order mandating discovery and recoupment of American trust assets and consider this your complete notice. 115 persons are implicated in crimes against the peace and security of mankind, of which 63 have been indicted. Naturally, these figures are far from final. No matter what the Western media and propaganda outlets are saying, everyone can see that Ukrainian troops prefer to surrender whenever they get the chance. Sadistic torture of Russian POWs by Ukrainian neo-Nazis has no justification. Precisely identified. The circle of individuals involved in biological research for military purposes in Ukraine. The list includes U.S. officials from the Department of Defense and a number of American contractors. Since 2005, the amount of U.S. funding of biological research programs in Ukraine exceeded $224 million. What court will try Ukrainian nationalists is still an open question. We are considering several options. The principles of universal jurisdiction allow national courts to try such cases. We also support the idea of setting up a specialized tribunal for this purpose. The key thing is to ensure that the court or tribunal in question is fair and unbiased. What should be in, but never made the headlines? Marines, Navy SEALs rescue 2,100 caged children. Who's who in those 144,000 sealed indictments about to be served? Last week House Intelligence Committee Rep. Devin Nunes said Durham report coming soon. Last month they arrested 700 CIA agents across the world, who gave debriefings on foreign interference in the U.S. That connected to a German CIA farm which was then raided. Many of the CIA agents were also involved in the leaks in the Russia Gate investigation. They were now trying to shut down Social M, labeling them as terrorists or white supremacist fractions. Oh, the storm of the century. There was lots of division going on over SCOT-US leak. What's really interesting was that they readied barricades around the Supreme Court building before the leak happened. Many believe the whole scenario was a false flag to cover the release of the 2000 Mules nationwide film release. Many believe that the leak was connected to events that would trigger riots. My personal belief was that Judge Roberts' assets were confiscated by the military in 2018, $29 billion, and he was forced to play out the events connected to the exposure and fall of the SCOT-US. All three branches of the U.S. government were captured operations and were under foreign occupation. On 21 January 2022 at 12 a.m. the U.S. military took legal control of the U.S. through laws of war that were activated after 12 months. Since January 20, 2021 the administration had a chance to come forward, expose the foreign occupation and come clean, which they didn't. By the laws of war of the Department of Defense the military legally took over 12 months later. The whole Twitter, Ukraine, SCOTUS leaks, etc. were planned. Why? Because it would expose other deep state countries, elites, presidents, prime ministers, organizations, the UN, NATO, Davos, BlackRock, elites, medical mafia industry, big tech worldwide, MSM worldwide, the whole corrupt system. The plan was happening and the movie was taking place. Unfortunately, people die in war. Not everything is clean. Laws of war happening right now. Continuity of government started in 2017. We were inside the devolution plan. P. Musk. From Nazis to white hats. We are also witnessing a major split in the ranks of the ruling oligarchy of the United States. Elon Musk from Tesla, apparently, got out of control and now openly supports the white hats. This is significant because Musk is the son of the famous Nazi rocket scientist Wernher von Braun, according to Japanese intelligence sources and confirmed sources of the U.S. Space Agency. Von Braun, considered by many to be the head of the U.S. space program, made some interesting confessions when he died of cancer. He said the U.S. would try to control the world by creating space-based weapons. They would justify the huge expense by inventing fake enemies. First the Russians, then the terrorists, then the Third World lunatics, then the asteroids and finally, the funniest thing, the aliens. This will be the last card, and all this is a lie, he said. CIA sources tell us that the public life story of Elon Musk is a huge lie and that from the very beginning he was a cover for the commercialization of Nazi high technologies. Sources associated with Musk have given us evidence that electric car technology has been suppressed for a long time. Here we see the charging of electric cars in 1917. Next we see a video of electric taxis with quickly replaceable batteries operating in Spain in 1943. Q. Tuesday 3 May Fleming. The Non-Compliant U.S. Part 2. If it is true that the U.S. Governor Inc. is caught in a vice of no escape. If it is true that the U.S. Governor Inc. is bankrupt. If it is true that the U.S. Governor Inc. has been dealt with, then there is a potential of an offer and compromise. If it's true that the Supreme Court is overturning Roe v. Wade, then, we have turned a corner. Remember, we the people have no rights under the existing admiralty laws, the law of the sea. In common law though, sovereignty is the principal overarching factor, with all laws supporting the individual sovereignty. It is obvious that a return to constitutional justice is now afoot, with the leak by the Supreme Court about Roe v. Wade. The proof that we the people are sovereign, with all rights to self-determination. That any U.S. nationals have the ability to lift yourself up by the bootstraps, once again. That freedom of choice becomes possible, is a benchmark we can hold high. Looking back there was no way that we the people could have known what was coming. Yet the shift brings much needed change that paves the way for the safety and security, the health and longevity, of one and all. We are seeing this right now.